Welcome to another stage analysis video. It's Sunday the 13th of April 2025. Apologies for my voice again, probably still quite bunged up sounding as I had a sinus operation last week and it's been a lot of bleeding this week, so very kind of bunged up. Sound a bit like I've got a cold all the time, but hopefully that will start to improve in the coming weeks. But anyone that's had it before, I can probably empathise, but it's thoroughly miserable, but we're getting there. Anyway, back to today's video. I'm going to be going through the weekend watch list stocks, some of the market breadth charts, the major indexes, look what the major crypto coins are doing, and the other regular content, the stage 2 breakouts, etc. So starting off with the US watchlist stocks first, I wanted to highlight TTWO initially, which has shown exceptional relative strength since its last earnings results, but obviously during this current crisis in the market, we've been moving lower in stage 4 in the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, etc. Whereas Take 2, as you can see from its mental relative strength down here, continuing to push to new highs at the moment, while the price is still contained in here. So a bit of that basketball underwater type look to it, a bit of spring and a test within the pattern here, and then attempting to make a continuation attempt here. So looking for this to push its way up and out with a new stage 2 continuation. If we go to the weekly chart on this, you can see still in stage 2 at the moment. It did go sideways for a while during this period before making a new continuation attempt. So it's been grinding back higher, going in stage 2 for a while. Initially started to break out through stage 2 through this early phase. Did have a little shakeout move with the market back down here, but then continued on. So it's been a stepping process for this one. You can see from its percentage moves, it's not a huge way off since the last stage 2 breakout. It's had some relatively good stage 2 moves in the past. If we go back through some of its chart history quickly, you can see had from its initial IPO onwards had an initial stage 2 run for going sideways in 3 back into 4, then had a decent stage 2 move going sideways, a brief stage 4 that failed before back into 3 and rolled back over again. So it's basically gone through the cycle multiple times already, but this latest stage 2 move has been relatively good with only a few brief pauses. So TTWO make Grand Theft Auto, I believe, and a bunch of other games. I think they've got the NBA game as well. I think that's their other major commercial game. But lots of popular games under their staple. I think they're waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6 to come out potentially later, some point this year. So at the moment, this showing exceptional relative strength versus the market, back above its 10-week moving average at the moment in stage 2, which is the complete opposite to what we're seeing in a lot of the market. If we go quickly to the stages summary, you can see the majority of the market here. If we look for the core total, we've got 69.57% of stocks in stage 4 at the moment versus only 12.78. So it is a bit of a rarity at the moment. So coming back. Next up, we've got ARM. So something that had some strong relative strength this week was the semiconductors. There has been some news out over the weekend that they are going to get hit with some kind of their own tariffs in the weeks / months ahead. But obviously all of that could change. But there is some obviously news flow going on around the tariffs over the weekend, where people were seeing exemptions for various things but not getting the full picture. But so it does still seem to be different kinds of tariffing going on with various tech products. So there could be a pop on Monday still, but it does seem to be a bit more muted than reaction that there was yesterday to it and what we're seeing in the media at the moment. So along with other semiconductors this week, showing some good relative strength in the short term off of the bottom, a bit of what we call a terminal shakeout. So big undercut and rally spring attempt back out with that Wednesday's news there. and then started to follow through a little bit on Friday back towards the highs. So we can start to get back above its 21-day moving average here. So we put it onto a bigger chart, you can see, and then back above the 180R level ideally. So we need to get all the way back up to about 117.51 there at the moment in order to get back towards a short-term uptrend at least, but it would still be below the 50-day moving average at that point. So if we come to the weekly chart of this, again on the website, you can see semiconductors as a group is exceptionally weak. Only 3% of semiconductor stocks have got a strong technical attribute score. So if we click into the group, for example, you can see the vast majority of them in stage 4 rolling lower. So ARM not showing any difference in that regard here. So basically doing what the group has been doing for a little while here. You can see relative strength only just peaking a little bit this week with that move. So go into the semiconductors group chart briefly. Again, as I said, you've got the stage 4 move started to roll over. So it's rebounding from an extreme position. So you expect some brief quick moves which may, from the short covering, whether they then follow through, start to build out some potential bases. But if it is still, it could just as easily continue to roll back over again. So you can see from percentage point of view, percentage of stocks that are technically strong in the semiconductors at the moment, we've only got 3% down here. So what we look for in the method is we want to see it start to move back up and ideally back through that key 30% level and higher. But in the short term case here, we would just be looking for, obviously, a bull alert type move would be start to see a trending up in the short term from this extreme position. And the same with the percentage of stocks above their 30-week moving average. We want to see that start to turn back up, but ideally get back through that key 30% level. As you can see in the past, the 2022 low, as it started, took a while to get back out again of that lower zone, with a few moves back out for after the May low, managed to push back out again, and then after that September, October low area there, it then pushed back out again. So with these, we look for them to move in tandem. So for example, 2022 back through the 30% levels, kind of where we're looking for with these at the same time. So you can go back and look through the history for the last 3 or 4 years on these as well, which you may not know you can do. So obviously you just got to click and drag on the chart. You see the vast majority of stocks at the moment in stage 4 type territory. Stage analysis technical attribute scores of 0 means they've got 0 of 10 characteristics that are in stage 2. Anything below 3 or below, generally in stage 4. You can obviously go through to the screen or the individual pages and see what stages they're in. So Nvidia this week, for example, is in stage 4, but it did rebound back from that more extreme level. So still in stage 4, but on the borderline, could manage to return back into the range again. So if it does follow through, so we are seeing some short-term strength in the semiconductors. So ARM, another one from that group. So looking for that move higher there. We look at Hood next. So this with a classic sort of double bottom type pattern, again showing relative strength in the near term. It has come off a relative amount since the high, 55%. Also is quite a lot, but did manage to hold above its 200-day moving average. Tested it twice, opened below it, rallied back above it. So at the moment, in the short term, again, a little bit of a short-term spring type action through these lows with a double bottom pattern to it. So at the moment, attempting to move back higher, be looking for it to get back above that 50-day moving average, potentially push back up towards the upper end of the range if we do get some follow through. But if it fails at that 50-day moving average, and we continue to see it, then would roll over, and we'd be looking for potential stage 4 breakdown level. If the 200-day moving average continued up there, could be around these low 30 area, as it has come off a long way already in that regard. Again, if we look at it on a stage analysis chart, so what we got, let me just pop up any old chart. Just drag that back. Doing Hood. You can see in terms of its group, one of the strongest stocks at the moment, still with a neutral technical attribute score at the moment, as it has dropped off into stage 3 with that pullback since the high. But you can see had an exceptionally good stage 2 run. Its current stage 2 run still at 523% maximum, so still 306% off of the stage 2 breakout level, which we put the background on. You can see happened on this week down here. So has had a really strong stage 2 move since the early part of 2024, 71 weeks now. But we're looking for this to recover, as I said, and back above the 10-week moving average, start to move back higher. But if it can't, as we talked about, we did roll back through here. You can see that the stage 4 level around this 35 area here would send it off lower. So if we come back to the screen up, you can see if we scroll across here. So next stage 2 price 65.28 at the moment on that.